Hi, welcome to 7 Fact, the channel where you'll surely find a video about every single country on Earth. In today's video, we're going to explore Utah, but keep in mind that there's an entire playlist of all the US states and territories, so be sure to check that out too. Also, and obviously, remember to subscribe if you wish to see the 2 brand new videos I upload every Wednesday and Saturday. The territory that is now Utah was inhabited by Native Americans for thousands of years, of course, and when the first European explorers, led by Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, reached this part of the world in 1540, at least 5 different nations were already present. As the conquest of the Americas continued, Utah became officially a Spanish territory, but they didn't put a lot of effort into colonizing it. As Mexico achieved its independence in 1821, this region became part of Alta California, but still the area remained largely undeveloped. It was during the Mexican-American War that a larger group of Americans from the United States came to the land of Utah to permanently settle down there. These people were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. Due to growing conflicts with their neighbors in Illinois, they agreed to willingly leave the state and go somewhere else. It was them who basically kickstarted the colonization of Utah. The Mormon settlements in Utah quickly grew, and as a result, today well over half of the people living there are Christian Mormons. This makes Utah one of, if not the most religiously homogeneous state in the nation. This does have a certain influence, as this church tends to have a strong political influence and the general culture of the state leans towards conservatism. They have very strict laws in regards to the sale of alcohol and smoking and have a complete ban on any forms of gambling. On the other hand, they were among the first to grant full voting rights to women in 1870, and since 2013, same-sex marriage became legal. Do you believe in miracles? Well, I have a miracle story for you that might make you believe. When the first group of Mormons arrived in Utah in 1847, they immediately planted their first crops, even though it was very late in the growing season. But they were fortunate enough to have a mild winter that year, so a good portion of their crops survived, and the people seemed to be on their way to self-sufficiency. Once spring arrived, they planted their second crops. However, large swarms of crickets, seemingly coming out of nowhere, started to devour everything. There was nothing they could do about it, and their fates appeared to be sealed. But then, miraculously, legions of seagulls appeared and ate mass quantities of crickets, thus saving the crops and the lives of the settlers. In the traditional story, the seagulls were eating like there was no tomorrow, drank water, regurgitated, and continued eating more crickets. In 2 weeks, the crickets were completely wiped out. Today, this event is referred to as the Miracle of the Gulls, and, miracle or not, without these seagulls, the settlers would have almost surely died from starvation. Ever find yourself looking into a mirror and think you're a bit too much overweight? Well, believe me, you are nothing compared to the heaviest living organism on Earth. Pando, also known as the Trembling Giant, is a colony of quaking aspen trees in the Fish Lake National Forest. So what is it about them that makes them so interesting? Well, check this out. The entire forest is actually a single living organism, growing out of one giant root system. The trees are all genetically identical, and together they weigh 6,600 tons, making them the heaviest single organism on Earth. Pando covers an area of 43 hectares or 106 acres and has over 40,000 stems or trunks. It is also old. Very old. It's been around for 80,000 years. Unfortunately, Pando seems to be dying and nobody really knows why. but efforts are being made to find out and save this archaic organism. Philo Farnsworth. Do you know who that is? He was basically a genius, born in Beaver, Utah in 1906. What did he do? He invented the first all-electronic television. By the age of 13, he already won a national contest for inventing a thief-proof lock, the magnetic car lock. When he was 16, Farnsworth drew a design for his high school chemistry teacher, Justin Tolman, which explained his belief that one could transform electricity into pictures by controlling the speed and direction of fast-flying electrons. Philo called his invention an image dissector, and his idea came from the back-and-forth motion used to plow a field on a farm. His idea eventually revolutionized television and made it an easily producible device that would soon find its way into every single home. In 1869, the nation's first transcontinental railroad was completed in Promontory, Utah. First known as the Pacific Railroad, the construction was a 3,077 kilometers long continuous railroad line that connected the already existing network in the east with the Pacific coast in San Francisco Bay. Wait, if it ended in San Francisco, why was it completed in Utah? It's simple. The railroad was built by 3 companies on 3 segments, coming both from the east and the west, and the last 2 segments met at Promontory. It was there that the last pike, a golden one, was placed with a silver hammer in 1869, officially connecting the 2 coasts of the United States. Utah is the only state whose capital is 3 words long, and at one point it was even longer. Salt Lake City was originally named Great Salt Lake City for its proximity to the Great Salt Lake. When Jim Bridger became the first English-speaking person to discover the Great Salt Lake in 1824, he mistakenly thought he had reached the Pacific Ocean. The Great Salt Lake contains 4.9 billion tons of dissolved salt, and parts of the lake are nearly 9 times saltier than the ocean. The city itself was established by the original Mormon pioneers, who managed to transform the inhospitable area into a thriving community. Today, Salt Lake City has a population of less than 200,000 people, but it is part of a corridor of contiguous urban and suburban development stretched along approximately 190 kilometers with a combined population of 2.4 million people. And there you have it. These were 7 facts about Utah. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Share your thoughts downstairs in the comment section, and afterwards check me out on Facebook and Twitter. A good way to offer more support to this channel is through Patreon, link in the description. I hope to see you next time. Bye.